Shalom, I am Rain Ben Yehuda, prophetess of Judah. I am also known as Linda Denise Swain Shepherd. Today I want to talk to Judeans about achieving financial security in a volatile financial market. Now, a chap called Thomas Tusser once said, "A fool and his money are soon parted." Now that is such a truism that many people today even believe it's a biblical statement. Now, our scriptures warn us and caution us against rushing headlong into get-rich-quick schemes. Many times people will approach us and tell us about business ideas that they have and how we can increase our money really quickly. The point of the matter is, if it sounds too good to be true, it most usually is. Now, the scripture instead advises us to not be afraid or too proud to undertake manual labor when and if necessary, and to use that as a stepping stone to get to the employment of our choice. Let's take a look at Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gained by vanity will diminish, but that gathered by hand will increase. So there we have it. We should undertake manual labor when and if it's necessary, and it may also involve us returning to higher education in order to make ourselves more competitive, and we may have to undertake manual labor while we pay our way through schools or colleges or universities. So that is something to bear in mind. There's nothing wrong with it at all, as long as it is moral. We are obliged to take part in that. So we mustn't become too proud. We mustn't think about what other people are going to say, because what they say is absolutely irrelevant to our lives. Work is work, and people undertaking employment shouldn't feel any shame in doing what is necessary to sustain their own life or to sustain the lives of their families. Now, the financial markets do affect us, even if we're not aware of it. But first, before I come to that, I want to go back to the scripture, because Elohim has made it quite clear what he desires for us, for our lives. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I am thinking for you, the word of Elohim, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and hope. Now, we cannot have hope if we're scratching around for a bare existence. So hope comes from having financial security, from having wisdom will obviously save our lives, but financial security is also necessary to sustain it, because we are not spiritual beings. We have a physical body, and that needs to be taken care of too. So we need to provide for ourselves and for our houses to ensure that we can survive any economic downturn. Now, as I was saying, the financial markets do affect us even when we're not aware of it. To simplify it down to its sort of barest terms, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of complaints about that, there are two types of stock brokers. There are the bulls, who do everything in their power to drive prices up. So their activities cause our wheat and our flour and our sugar and our oil and electricity and so on to go shooting through the roof. So suddenly, 1 month you may be paying an electric bill of, say, £100, and 2 months or 3 months later you find that you're being asked triple for the same period of time when you haven't really increased your usage. And then you have the bears, who do everything in their power to drive the prices down so that they can purchase stocks at a cheap price and earn a handsome profit. So bulls and bears are all about achieving this handsome profit, and their conduct causes the volatility in the markets, so that prices rise for the things that we need in our daily lives. And then round and round we go. Taxes increase. Now, I'm not going to decry the capitalist system, because it is what it is. What And I'm not going to argue for or against it, not at this juncture. But what I do think is that Judeans should be able to get a share of those profits. Now, there are things that we can do to insulate ourselves against the volatility in the global financial markets, which see, the price of your petrol increasing exponentially. And then from the price it was, I think a few years ago, we saw the price of oil go up to $147 a barrel, which would affect the price we pay for petrol at the gas pumps. Now, firstly, we take our profits advice and buy in bulk, because this is what our profits have taught us. Go out there, buy in bulk the things that have long shelf life. And find a space in our homes. If you don't have a larder in your kitchen, that's a UK term for a very long cupboard where we stock food in your home. Create a storage space. Even go out and buy a trunk, the old-fashioned ones. And there you can start buying in bulk and putting the food away, which ensures that when the prices increase due to the volatility in the market, you can then use the products that you have bought at the price that they should have been at, and in this way sustain yourself until the bears drive the markets down, and you can then again start buying, so that we ensure that we get value for our money. Now, we must become more enterprising, more creative, and more innovative, and the daughters of Judah have a significant role to play here, because the scripture does not require us to be idle. Now, let me go back to the point I was making about the storehouses, because I forgot to give you the actual scripture. So let's go to Proverbs 21:20, and then we'll go straight to 30:25. I'm forgetting everything today. A desirable treasure and oil endures in the abode of the wise, but the fool of a man swallows it up. And 30:25. The ants are a nation that is not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. So here the scripture is telling us about creating that storage space in our homes if we don't already have one, and buying products when they're at a reasonable price and putting them away, and building up a supply so that you have a storehouse of goods which will insulate you against the time when the bulls are driving up the market and increasing the prices, which tends to eat into your income because you're now paying more for the same things. So that's one to look out for. Now, the daughters of Judah are also expected to be enterprising. They're things that we can do at home. We can make clothing, we can make cushions, we can make jewelry, we can make soap and bathroom products. All of these things can be done at home in our kitchens. Also, for the daughters that can plait hair, if you take on 2 customers a week at £50, $50 per head of hair, because you know how long it takes us to finish those plaits, then you'd increase your income by £5,200 sterling, which is $8,619. So not an amount to be scoffed at, and that can go towards vacations for the family, a new car, or whatever it is that you need. Even, you could start a down payment on a mortgage for your own home. So whatever you wish to do with that income, that is obviously up to you. So we must also get involved. It's all well and good having a husband, a traditional husband that goes out and works for us. I mean, I'm not knocking that at all. Bring it on. But we can do our part to take the pressure off them and increase our family's income as a whole, which in the end is going to benefit the entire family and allow us to have things that we may not have been able to afford or had to put off for a few years until we could save up the money. It's also very important to keep savings as well. So whatever income that you do get, don't spend it all. Put some away, open a savings account and start to save money. Now, the scripture makes it abundantly clear, as I said, that the daughters of Judah are also supposed to be enterprising and creative. Let's go to Proverbs 31. 27. She anticipates the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of laziness. So even though you may be a traditional housewife and homemaker, looking after the children, the husband and the home, it doesn't mean that you cannot turn your hand to something creative and enterprising to increase the family's income. So I want all Judeans to start looking at ways in which we can be more creative, more innovative and more enterprising in order to increase our finances and achieve financial security for our families. Shalom.